Welcome to the Virtual Career Lounge session, helping you to be a greater you. I'm your host, Dali Perez. This lounge is designed to help middle and high school students prepare for life after high school because failing to plan is planning to fail. Today, we're going to talk about importance of careers in STEM. We're going to discuss the significance of careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, and what opportunities are available and how you can pursue a STEM career. But before we start, we want to give a special thanks to the Career Lounge session sponsor EXL, a leading data analytics and digital operations and solutions company. If you want to learn more about EXL, go to exlservice.com. Thanks to their sponsorship, we are able to bring this lounge to you at no cost. A little bit about us: we are Love Our Youth, a 501c3 nonprofit organization providing programs for youth. Our mission is to leverage the power of collaboration to uplift and empower youth and their families within our community. Before we kick off today's topic, we want to bring our panelists here and to briefly introduce themselves. So please share your name, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your current role at your company and why did you choose your current career?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for a warm welcome, and really glad to be part of this panel discussion and contribute in the best way possible. So I can start. So my name is Siddhant Mathur. I'm from EXL Services. I am the senior engagement manager in the banking and financial services division. To answer your question, how did I sort of take this career path? I think the interest started way early, like in my when I was like a teen, I had a lot of fondness for mathematics and physics, and that is what drove me to taking this career path and going into a STEM related course, and finally landing here. Right. So yeah, that's in a very short description how I landed here.
So, Dali, thanks for having us here. My name is Natasha Tuli. I'm an engagement manager with EXL. I have around 12 years of experience in banking and lending domain. And the my love for math and STEM started way early, like when my dad used to make me sit and make me do all my addition, subtraction, multiplication way back when I was a kid. And in my entire family, we all are in STEM career. So that was also one of the driving factors that I love math. So back in India, I did a bachelor's in mathematics and a master's in operational research, which is like applied maths. And when I moved to New York City, I did a master's in mathematics. So logical thinking, reasoning, I love all that, and that's why I chose this career path. And it has been 7 years with EXL. So yeah, I'm one of the tenured member with the company.
I can go next. And Dali, thank you, by the way, for the warm welcome. My name is Justin. I am a data scientist at EXL. I'm one of those cool people who works on AI and stuff. So how I ended up here is basically I used to love researching about stuff, looking up about things with data. So that is how I chose this career path itself. And yeah, excited to be part of this conversation.
Hi, my name is Rishabh, and I'm currently a tech consultant at EXL. And I was during my undergrad, the way I chose this career was like during my undergrad, I was like introduced to machine learning and computer vision. And in that time, like giving the computer or something like non-living and learning recognize like colors or even objects. So that was something like really interesting to me, and that's how I got into data science, and machine learning and everything. And that's how I ended up here. Thank you.
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Siray, and I'm currently working as a data analyst at EXL. So, talking about my background, actually, I majored in economics back in college, which is not a typically like the STEM field. But the reason why I chose the business analytics program in the graduate school right after college is because I think their economics, from my perspective, is too theoretical to me. That's why realizing, oh, if I can turn, for example, the mathematics, statistics to the real application in life, I came to a more STEM major in the graduate school, and that's why I chose this career path and have a lot of fun in this field.
That's awesome. And really hearing the different path that you guys took and what led you that. For example, Natasha said that the entire family study was in STEM. And then Justin is very proud of being the cool people and all that. And switching from economics to analytics is like so interesting how careers can go and what's the influence that we have around us. So we want to start with this conversation, like with defining, right? What does STEM stand for, and why do you think is important in today's world?
I think to start with, what STEM is, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, if I talk about anything and everything which is happening across the globe, across industries, be it banking, be it tech, healthcare, pharma, etc., the foundations to all these industries it's basically STEM, right? Just to give you a very basic example, the conversations which we are having right now through our internet services, through this virtual chat, etc., it has been enabled because of those core foundational technology pillars which were developed and uh, sort of brought to life through these STEM initiatives. So yeah, it's very very important, and like across the globe, it has like significant impact.
So do you think, or any of you think, that these are really the future? Like everybody should be, or within this STEM careers, is that what's gonna be leading the future? So how important is that today?
I think STEM is already leading uh, the future, I believe, and it's already leading the next things that the human as a civilization will be doing in the next decade or maybe in the next century. So if you go in multiple tech side, if you go in multiple healthcare system sides, I think every field, I believe, is somehow a branch out of STEM. So if you go even if you go towards the artistic side, even architecture, everything requires math and ratios. And if you look towards the future, I think AI is the biggest buzzword out there right now. And even the basics of AI, it all starts from basic maths and calculus. And yeah, I see the future is all just STEM. It's like the future is stemming out from STEM, if I would put it in that way. Yeah.
I also want to add on. So, if you actually just look at the top companies in S&P 500, the top 10 companies, those are like Google, Alphabet, like Tesla, even Broadcom. So these are, and even Eli Lilly, which is a pharmaceutical company. So these are like either computer related or healthcare related or even semiconductor related. So you can actually see that most of the money is like the most of the money in the world itself is there in STEM. So yes, even I believe that the future is in STEM.
Absolutely. And if you can explain very briefly, because you mentioned the S&P 500, and for some teens that are listening, is like, what is that? Can you explain a little bit of what that is?
All right, so S&P 500 is basically an index that tracks the top 500 companies in United States. It's basically all the top companies that has the highest market cap in the US. Now, the top 10 companies are made of the biggest tech firms like Google, Amazon, Eli Lilly, etc. So this is essentially where most of the money is at, and these are most of the richest companies in the world. That's it.
Awesome. So let's talk about careers, right? Because within STEM, there's a lot of different varieties and options and careers that any teen can pursue. What are those fastest growing careers that we can see today within the STEM?
STEM is growing a lot with the new technologies coming in. And so if I start from, when I started my career, so I started my career when the tech was SaaS. And as I grew in my career, it moved to, let's say, Python, Hive, now it's ML, AI. So with that tech going, there are, STEM is also giving a lot of, new courses or new career options. Earlier, it was just mathematics and statistics, but now we can see some new career options as well, like masters in AI, some new set of certifications in machine learning, data science. So all those things are emerging as we are emerging in tech and as we are emerging in more data driven solutions. So I would say some new set of certifications, just to summarize my answer, some new set of certifications are, are there with many universities as we are emerging in tech, which a lot of people are picking up right now to pursue their career in STEM.
Can also sort of chime in here. So I think what we are seeing with the advent of this generative AI also, a lot of folks now are sort of because I think before Gen AI there was a lot of challenges when it came to coding and like software development, etc. Now I think with this Gen AI and various different tools and techniques available, we are seeing a lot of uptake in vibe coding and product development, which used to be a big challenge and big hurdle, let's say 2 or 3 years down, or 2 or 3 years ago. Now it's sort of seamless, and people are trying and sort of innovating on, let's say, creating applications, websites, etc. So I think with AI, STEM being the foundation and the added layer of innovation through AI, etc., we are seeing a lot of new career aspects which are also sort of flourishing.
I also wanted to give a comparison between non-STEM and STEM. So basically, this is one research I did when I was even getting into college. So the growth of STEM-related field is around 8 to 10%, while the growth of non-STEM-related field like lawyers or accounting, etc., is around just 2 to 3%. It's less than even half of that. So the point is basically, if you take STEM, it's basically you'll almost never run out of jobs. So that's how powerful it is.
Absolutely. And I would like to hear from each of you, how does STEM reflects on your role right now at your company, or how you see like within the field and the department that you guys are, how do you see STEM? And if you can mention like specifics in terms of the career or the title of the person, and how the do you apply that STEM within what you do right now?
STEM is not about just, getting a degree. It's also builds in you that aptitude of logical reasoning, finding the root cause analysis, and as you grow or as you study or as you start working in that career, in your day-to-day life also you start, implementing those things to have like better time management, to structure your day in a way that you don't fell off. So you tend to have that certain discipline in your day-to-day life as well, to start with, to start at very basic. And as you implement those things in your day-to-day work, so there is a difference over there. So for example, when you are studying a STEM career, there is always, you will always have a right solution at the end. As you are, looking at the formula, doing, to give you an example, you are, let's say, doing your homework. At the end, you will always reach to a right solution. But as you start working for a company, you might not always have a right solution in hand. There is always a trade off between what data tells you, what kind of risk management you implement on top of it, and what is a trade off you are getting with the business objective. So with all these skills you develop, uh, as you start working for a STEM career, you will always tend to find a balance between what is the what is the actual goal you're trying to achieve, and what is the risk trade off you're getting at. And you tend to implement all these things in your personal life as well. And to give you an example from my personal career, there are many, scenarios where we have provided data-driven insights to companies, which led them, getting millions of dollars in return. So, for example, I worked for a collections company and I simply designed a matrix for them that what kind of discount offer they should give to certain set of segments, risk segments, and within a quarter they were able to see a lift of $0.5 million. So that's the things I'm talking about, that you tend to develop certain skills which you implement in your day-to-day work as well as in your personal life. So it's not just the career choice, it also becomes how you live and how you lead your day-to-day life.
Yeah, totally agree. And I also believe that STEM actually trains how you think, how to break down like very complex problems, how to test the ideas, how to learn the technology. So I think throughout my past learning of economics, statistics, probability, and now learning more about the data application, it really helps me to think more logically, be more comfortable with the numbers, and how to be more comfortable with uncertainty and deal with those problems with the new technology, with the application. And also, I feel like the working in STEM is a very interesting experience for me. It pushes me to keep learning because I feel like right now the technology is developing so fast at an exponential figure, and it actually requires you to keep learning to catch up with the latest technology to understand how you can solve the problem with maybe more how to say more effective way, using more suitable technology, how to work more efficiently. So I believe that like the working in STEM is a challenging experience, but also it definitely can helps you grow a lot.
I also want to add on a few subjects from my schooling that I found helpful, that I actually find helpful now. So I'm not sure the curriculum from my schooling is the same as in the US because I did my schooling in the Middle East. But a few subjects that I used to love was especially math, where I learned things like normal distribution and linear regression. And these are the things that we literally use on a day-to-day, day-to-day activities. Like we use normal distribution to understand how the distribution of the data is, and maybe linear regression to build models out of it. Also, some of the other subjects that I fell in love in school were especially coding, like subjects like Python and C++. And these are languages that we essentially use day to day to build, like, let's say, AI models or even small regression models, etc. So these are subjects that in school, if taught, that you should be taken seriously if you want to get into STEM as well.
I totally agree with Justin here. And sometimes when you're in school, and maybe you're in your middle school, in your high school, and when you're just studying maths and this multiple other subjects and topics, you often wonder, when will I even use this? These topics that are being taught to me right now, like calculus and probability and statistics. Students, even I used to think, to be honest, like, at what point in life where I'm like actually gonna use this. So yeah, honestly, if you're pursuing in STEM and if you really want to solve real life problems, be it in like data, be it in computer science, be it in healthcare, I think uh, a lot of things like in maths and science really takes you far in STEM. I think if you have your fundamentals clear, I think that helps you a lot.
I think just to quickly summarize, I think the one thing which we all of us will resonate with is like what everyone already spoke about. The STEM inculcates within us a knack of problem solving, taking challenges head on, and not fearing whatever comes our way, because we take it as a challenge and try to address it rather than, let's say, running away from it. And that's the one big value which STEM has sort of inculcated in all of us.
That's true. And I remember when I was in college, I took some C++ classes. And back in that time, I don't know how those classes are now, but you need to actually write down the codes and all that. And To me, it was driving me crazy because I'm techie, but not that techie. And I asked those questions. I was like, what am I going to use this for again? But then today, I need to rely on some people that are more technical than me because those topics I cannot. It's like, okay, put me to talk to someone, because everybody has their strengths and all that. But some of you mentioned keep learning. You got to keep growing. So let's talk about technology, because going back to that, the C++ or the technology or the things with AI, Justin, which is the cool people, like he said, like how does technology play a part in today's STEM fields, and also that mentality of you got to keep growing because if not, you might stay behind.
I can take that up. So basically, one of the biggest advancements or advantages of having technology is basically you have technology at your hand. Like you have AI, you have different course websites, you have different kind of things that is accessible to you right now. So one of the biggest thing that we can definitely leverage is basically using AI itself to write code. Like I believe that Dali said that C++ was a hard thing for her during school, but I believe not anymore, because we have AI now. We can just simply pass an English prompt and get an entire code for ourselves. So I think that's the biggest thing that we can master with the today's advancements in technology, and I think that's something that everyone should, even in school, should focus on as well.
Maybe I'll like to add a couple of more things. So I think what I do is I generally compare how when I was in high school or let's say middle school versus the age today. There has been a vast difference. Like back then we did not have, let's say, YouTube channels like Khan Academies and Coursera's, etc., where the resources and knowledge, if you seek that, it is readily available, right? Back then we had to sort of uh, juggle with a lot of books, resources, etc., to find relevant content, right? So that I feel is a big driver, big technological driver, which is now making lives easy for aspiring students. And along with what Justin just mentioned, right, the advent of AI and this generative AI, Chat GPT, Gemini model, all of those are a big value add, and a very strong resource for you to have at the back of your hand.
Adding on to that, so what happens is I think any field, if there's an advancement in any field of STEM, I think it pushes all the field of STEM to a next level. For example, we can see like how in tech side of things, the AI, the development of AI and everything, I think it has pushed the limits of every other field in STEM. Like if you go into physics, into even data science, and even into like healthcare, every field has, like, I think they have increased their research programs, like the speed of the research, I think by 10x at least. So, and the best part of getting updated or like being updated with the new trends and new researches that is going on in your field, I think AI really helps you with that. And you can just look up anything you want and find new methods just to solve like your particular problem. Yeah.
So basically, STEM and tech goes hand in hand, and at the end, it's going to make everything more interconnected with the AI coming into picture. So earlier during COVID, tech made everyone work from home. Just to give you a simple example, and still people were connected while sitting from home. But with AI coming into picture, it's going to make learning very interconnected. So like you can write a code, AI will help you. Moving from manual to automated task, AI will help you. So tech is making STEM careers more interconnected.
Yeah, I think like the back in school, what we learn about STEM is probably a little bit theoretical, but as the technology grows fast in the modern era, I feel like we can get access to more and more resources about technology, and we can literally apply those technology in their real life to solve their problems. So right now, it's like we can more flexibly, get access to those resources to learn what we want to learn in a more practical way and apply them into our real life and to, for example, business, different industries. So definitely the technology growth helps a lot more people to enjoying the fruit from the stem from their technology. So I believe in the future, definitely everyone may step into the STEM, into the technology, and to play around and also to live a better, a more productive life with STEM, with technology.
I also want to add on one more thing. So I actually agree with Siri. So I think 18 years ago, when I was actually in school, in my I think third grade or something, I had a I had read about a story in my school saying that a kid learning from a computer, basically a computer is a teacher of a kid, and at that time it was like a fantasy. It was like a very virtual thing. But fast forward to now, like that's literally how I did my master's program. Like if I had a doubt in a certain subject, I would ask it to Gemini, I would ask it to ChatGPT, or if I wanted something to be explained in a very very easy way to understand, I would ask it to ChatGPT or Gemini. So I believe that AI is a good way to learn and pick up stuff in a way that you would understand, and you can ask any sort of questions to it, and most of the time it would give you the correct answer. That's the thing about it. But yeah, also one more thing about it is like it not only teaches you theory, it also teaches you how to build stuff in a practical way. For example, if you want to learn about DNA, it will show you a visualization about DNA. If you want to learn about coding, it can show you how to build an app with coding. If you want to learn about maths, it can show you how to make machine learning models with math. So it doesn't just teach you about theory like you learn from textbook. You can also take a step further and learn from it from a practical perspective.
Absolutely. And I mean, kids this day are more techy than we are, and maybe that our parents were. And going back to the C++ that I mentioned, I remember that our operation manager one day, he was showing me some stuff about the website, and he showed me like a bunch of codes and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know what you're showing me. And how do you do that? He's like, oh, that's easy. I just plug in the AI and it does it for me. And like, that's great. And it's just exactly what you were saying. Like back in my time when I was in college, everything was, you have to write it. But today we have a lot of tools that can advance and shorten the time. If that took you 4 months, now it takes me maybe 3 days, 2 days, or one day, right?
Yes.
So, what can you say to those people that not necessarily are in the STEM? Is more likely what we were talking, right? Maybe someone wants to be a speaker, maybe someone wants to be a teacher, maybe someone is into the art and maybe think this is not relevant to me. How can these STEM skills, how can they leverage that into their lifestyle, even though they're not into STEM career?
Goes back to, the few points which I said a little before in our conversation that, STEM builds the inbuilt skills of structural thinking or, problem solving, breaking a problem into multiple steps, and then taking one step at a time. So let's say if someone is a lawyer, then basically he might not be in a STEM career, but that logical reasoning will help him in that career. And let's say if someone is in entrepreneurship, then basically identifying the market trends, what data tells about the market trends, reading those trends. It's a skill which they develop through a STEM course, or you can pick any field, marketing, sports. You need data, you need to understand it, and that's where STEMs come into picture, like logical reasoning, structural thinking, breaking the problem, risk management. These all things STEM teaches you, and that's what differentiates a STEM and non-STEM career. But the thought process which you develop in STEM will help you grow in a non-STEM career as well.
Absolutely.
I think we totally. Sorry, I think I totally agree with Natasha, and I believe every non-STEM career has some things like like topics from STEM related to it. Like if you go into simple art, if you look into the golden ratio and everything, the everything like if you have to build something, you need it to be symmetric. If you're like painting, and if you even if you're writing something, there needs to be a flow. And I think even in music there are beats which there are sometimes beats which help you which are more resonates which resonates with what is more attractive and everything. So I believe that even in STEM, I think non-STEM careers, there are some attributes that include mathematics and other subjects like statistics, and also like Natasha mentioned that even data, people should really leverage data and from the market and the trends to really understand that how they can progress in their non-STEM career as well. So yeah, I think the best way for non-STEM careers to leverage STEM thing would be simply, I think the easiest way right now for them would be like just to get an access to an AI LLM and just ask AI to, maybe help them out with their non-STEM careers and in ways that could really benefit them. Yeah.
As well, anybody in any field is
Yeah.
exposed to technology, right? Even though if you want to be a speaker, then you have to have a website, you have to have a funnel. Then if people is
Absolutely.
going to book you, you got to know how many people went into your website, how many people click, how many people put something in the cart and then left it there. What are you going to do with those people? Those, AI system processes. So in the world that we're living in, technically, see, if you don't get into technology, you're gonna be behind in
Absolutely.
a lot of ways, right? So I think it's huge, the AI and how fast it's growing, and it might be difficult for some people because they don't understand it, but at least you can start chatting with ChatGPT. You can technically say, ChatGPT, show me how to use you. How can I leverage you? And it will tell you. It will teach you, right? It will say, okay, start this, do that. And I think anybody, it doesn't matter the field that you're pursuing, you have to get into technology, science,
Absolutely.
math, and all that, so you can apply it to your
One
career.
really funny example which came to my mind right as you were speaking. So one of my undergrad friends, so he was doing engineering, then he left midway, right? He wanted to pursue a career in stand-up comedy, right? That's a very drastical pivot which we saw, and I was totally opposed to it. That's a drastical shift. You might not want to sort of go there. It might not end up as great. So I think what he started with, I think he blended technology with his passion, right? So what he started with, for I think after switching, he for the first 2 to 3 years he was only online. He did not have any open mics or for basically stand-up comedy shows, etc. For the first 2 to 3 years, he was only focusing on digital online content on Instagram, YouTube, etc. And that is what I think he organically generated a lot of audience. And with that, I think in 2 to 3 years, he gained a lot of popularity. And then when he actually went into those open mics, went into those comedy shows, he attracted a lot of audience, and b it they were able to sort of he was able to resonate with the audience very well. So yeah, I think starting with that digital media for him was a blessing, again, like stemming from STEM.
That's awesome. That's a great story, and it goes back to, you have a lot of skills. So how you're gonna blend them, how you're gonna apply them. Not necessarily you have to be in just one thing. He was managed to leverage all his skills and then be successful with that. So I think that's amazing. So what will be your final thoughts on why teens should consider a career in STEM?
Okay, so I believe teens should consider STEM because if you are really passionate about finding solutions to real life problems and problems that people in general face, be it in healthcare, be it in any like infrastructure, be it in tech, or just making lives of general public or people simpler. And I think the best way to do that is through STEM. I think science and technology is what is like supporting every field that there is. And if you look how AI is like literally helping every field. There is like currently even in healthcare, like detecting multiple diseases faster. I think that is like it literally saves so many lives in that sense. And so yeah, so basically, and even like predicting things, like predicting forecast, and like recently we had a blizzard here, and I think predicting all those of stuffs, and I predict and preparing us for those stuffs. I think STEM really actually saves lives, I think. And if you're really interested and passionate about helping, like say helping people and like creating world problem, like solutions to real world problems, I think STEM is the way to go.
I believe from my perspective, the reason that I would, if looking back, that I would choose STEM is a more of a data backed answer. First reason is because it is twice as fast growing as a non STEM career would give me. The second reason is twice as paying as a non STEM career would give me. The average salaries that you would be looking at after bachelor's would be 100K plus for a STEM degree. And the third reason is that, especially inside STEM, if you get into computer science or data science or AI, you'll be working on a lot of cool stuff, a lot of new technology that like the rest of the population wouldn't have even heard of. Like, and that is really cool to even tell that okay, you're working on this and you are working on really amazing advancements. So these are the reasons that I would get into STEM if I was looking back from my career.
I would say that choose a STEM career to make your life simpler. Like, I will not push anyone who has an interest in a non-STEM career. I have a 5-year-old who wants to be a yoga teacher, so that's not a STEM career, but I'll still inculcate those values of STEM in her so that he she leads a simpler life. So probably, how to think logically, how to have a problem-solving mindset, how to use the AI, new tech in a non-STEM field as well. So basically, these kind of qualities, if they study STEM in their school, high school, and their college, even though they will choose a non-STEM career, will always add value as they grow in future.
I think 100% resonate with Natasha here, and I agree. I think even if, let's say, if somebody is not into STEM courses, or is maybe not very comfortable with all the technicalities, etc., and they have that creative mindset and want to sort of pursue a more creative field, I think even for them, at least inculcating those core values of STEM is important, right? So, like the knack of problem solving, structured thinking, and then basically not fearing from the challenges which might come in, right? So these are skills which not only help you in your professional life but also in your like personal life as well, right? So 100% agree with what Natasha just said.
Yeah, I also think that working STEM or learning STEM and getting exposed to those technology can help you live a more productive life. For example, even if you're just a fitness coach and you used to help your training deal with those calculation about how many how much food you're gonna eat every day, how to keep the body fat at a certain level. You need to do a lot of like the manual calculation. But right now, you can just ask a AI to help you deal with all these nuances, help you calculate, help you design a plan for them. So definitely, it's much faster than you manual labor. Then you manually calculate all those figures. And also, I feel in the STEM because it is like a growing field and it has unlimited potential. So definitely, you can be exposed to a lot of new stuff, the cool stuff every day. So I believe people getting to STEM can have a lot of fun.
Awesome. So I've loved this conversation. Has a lot of golden nuggets. Is that how you say it? A lot of insights, and I think it makes a lot of people think like, if I didn't want to get into it, I should start, right? I want to move really quick to one hot seat questions for all of you, and I want to hear from you. If you were to give your younger self a piece of advice, what would that be?
Mine would be stopped, not just focus on learning and start building. So that's one advice that I would give my younger self.
Mine would be, I think, would be on not procrastinating a lot, because I think I started, I would say, a bit late. I could have been on the journey earlier. So I think procrastination was one big challenge which I would advise my younger self not to indulge into.
Yeah, I think for me would be complete what I start. Uh, because I think when I was younger, I think like started a lot of things. Like I started to, maybe I even want to do that. I even want to do that. I think completing what you start is really important.
See, there are many things coming into my head. I'm not sure if it's good or bad, which are related to STEM and non-STEM as well. So I would say, yeah, just to keep it simpler, better time management is something which I'm working on, and it's my goal for this year as well. So there was a time where I took like 3, 4 year break in my career just to trying out different things. That is also important because it will help you learn and life, and otherwise STEM is also as an iterative process. You learn from iterations. So taking a break is also important, but how much break is what you should decide on. So yeah, so be open to iterations. I would say that I can tell my younger self. Yeah, trying out different things, then learn from them, but put a timestamp on top of it.
Yeah, so for me, maybe a sentence I want to tell myself is try more things, take more challenges to find your passion. Because when I was in college, I think at the time I only focused on a lot on learning economics until maybe I got into some modeling competition. Until then, I realized, oh, maybe I'm more passionate about data. That's why I chose this career path. Yeah, back then, if I can get exposed to data application earlier, I tried more things. I would choose, for example, this major directly back in college. So I think, yeah, definitely try more things until you find your passion.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for taking the time to be part of this career lounge session. I think it was a great conversation, and teens and anybody that jumps in are going to learn a lot and definitely start some things, right? And thank you, all of you, for joining us. We hope today's conversation has given you insight and clarity on making plans for life after high school. Special thanks to the Career and Lounge session sponsor EXL, a leading data analytics and digital operations and solutions company. If you want to learn more about EXL, go to exlservice.com. Thank you for their sponsorship. We are able to bring this lounge to you at no cost. We look forward to seeing you at the next Career Lounge session. All the sessions are here on YouTube, so make sure you go to our playlist and watch them all. But don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share all of the session with your friends. Thank you so much for joining us.